Good day, good people. It's your favorite fundraiser. Yes, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that. It's your favorite fundraiser, Kia Kroon, the founder and host of your favorite podcast. I'm going to say that too. The Black Fundraisers Podcast, which is designed to inspire and equip Black fundraisers to positively impact Black communities. I'm particularly on fire because it's Black Philanthropy Month. And Black Philanthropy Month is one of those hallmarks for me, right, in the sector where I take every opportunity that I can to do what we do best here on the Black Fundraisers Podcast, which is elevate Black voices that are making headway, making tremendous progress in this space, right? And I've got an exciting guest to share with you today to bring on. He is someone that I consider a colleague and a friend. In case you aren't familiar with him, good people, you'll have a chance to get to know him well. And I encourage you to connect with this gentleman. He is none other than Floyd Jones. Uh-oh.
Hello.
All right, you there. Floyd Jones, the director. Uh-oh, we having some tech. Hold on, y'all. We having some tech. Let's get it right. Get it right. Floyd Jones, director of community partnerships at Give Butter. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
All right, I
But
got it
what's in the
right.
title anyway? Come on.
Well, now we pay homage to our Black trailblazers in this space. So we got to get that right. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm glad to have you hang out with me for a bit. It's something we talked about for a while, and the stars aligned and schedules, and I'm really glad to have you on this platform.
So good to be here. So honored to be here and to be spending this time with you.
No, thank you. So, for those who may not be familiar with Give Butter, I'd like for you to tell them a little bit about Give Butter and the platform. But first, I'd like for you to tell the good people listening and myself too a fun and little known fact, and then we could get into Give Butter.
Okay, a fun fact. So I guess the thing that comes to my head is I'm a singer. I'm a musician as well. I don't know if I've told you that. I knew you were here.
No,
I knew you were here in the city recently. I performed at the Apollo. I also did a
get
lot of
it
gospel
out
music
of
as
here.
well. Yeah, I went on tour with Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music last summer. So did a lot of. I
Oh,
love music and I love singing, and that's always been a passion of mine as well. So that's a fun fact for you
wait a
today.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So we got a psalmist here, a
Exactly. I got a
singer
song in
and
my spirit.
psalmist. Yes, we find out all kinds of cool little tricks of the trade and tidbits on the Black Fundraisers podcast. How
Right.
was that traveling with Maverick? I love Maverick and Uncle Kirk. You know,
I
Uncle Kirk.
know.
Say what you want about Uncle Kirk. I don't care. He'll always be Uncle Kirk to
I know
me.
that's right. I know
Okay.
that's right. And the man can dance. It's not just a show. It's not just a show. He's got the moves in his spirit, okay?
Listen, listen, listen. Somebody ain't going to heaven because they was turkey him dancing and gonna put genuine pony on it. Whoever did that, you are
I
not
saw
going to
that. I
heaven
saw that's
for
hilarious.
messing. Wait a minute now. It was funny. I ain't gonna lie. It was funny, wasn't it? It was funny. But he really does have some moves. I ain't gonna lie to
He
you.
really
I just
does.
love watching him perform. And what I love the most, because I don't care what nobody says.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was
I love
there
it.
in the 90s when he kind of democratized like
Mm,
gospel music as we know it. To me, he made it more accessible,
mm,
and not that thing that you read out of a hymnal,
mm,
and sing in corporately in church. Like, I remember when he started making music and folks in
mm-hmm.
the church was like, that's the devil's music. You what say what you want.
Say
He's
what
a
you want.
trailblazer, and he made it accessible to people who were, as they say, unchurched,
Mm,
which is to
mm-hmm.
me a
Mm-hmm.
big call and mantle. So I fell
Mm,
in love with gospel music as
mm,
a result of the music he was putting out. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? And he
Mm-hmm.
stayed. I mean, I really feel like he's like that distant uncle, that
Mm-hmm.
brings the
Mm-hmm.
gospel, and I love him
Mm-hmm.
for that, and I will always love him.
And
I will
he
always
does
love
he does that work to really bridge any type of gap. Like what we see on stage is who he is backstage as well. He's so kind, and I don't even like. I met him only a handful of times. Yes, I did a bunch of shows with them, but every time I was with him, I took pictures with him. He's always went out of his way to just be so kind and caring, and I'm
Wow.
like, he is like that on and off the stage, and that was one of my biggest takeaways. So. Mm-hmm.
I love him. I do. I don't care what nobody say. Cussing, he could cuss at son. Listen, he is a real person, and that's what I love
100%.
the most. When people are real people, you know what I'm
100%.
saying? And I mean,
Hmm.
he's just, I just love him. So thank you for sharing that, man.
Yes,
You
that's my fun fact.
let me know. You have to let me know
I
about one of
will.
these performances. You've
I
been holding
will.
out.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
You've been holding out, bro, but we gonna figure it out. So
Listen, little by
tell
little. Hmm.
little by little. So tell the good people listening a little about Give Butter and the wonderful work you do there.
Yeah. So I am the director of community and partnerships at Give Butter. It's been so beautiful watching the company grow. I actually was employee number 6 there, and we are approaching employee number 56 in a couple of weeks. So it's been crazy to see, and it's only been in under about 2.5 years. So it's been exciting to see all that growth. Give Butter is the world's most loved fundraising platform. It's not just self-proclaimed. It's all we read it on G2 and a whole bunch of other different third-party platforms. But we are an end-to-end fundraising suite. So we have everything that you need to raise funds, whether it be a donation form or an event page and getting tickets. We also make it unique for you to be able to collect your donations. So you don't have to just rely on check or just credit card. You can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo. We were the first to have Venmo fundraising as well. You can do live stream events on our fundraising page as well. But you also have all the tools that you need for a CRM, so you can store your donation information in our platform. And we have our own in-house messaging service, so you can send emails and you can send text messages on the platform, all for free. It's 100% free, and we're user friendly, and we're just really focusing on empowering the next billion change makers.
I love that. I love it, love it, love it. And I love how accessible it is. Y'all got options. If
Everything.
you
Listen, we don't
Apple
want to leave you
Pay,
hanging. We don't want to leave you
if
hanging.
listen, if you Apple Pay, if you Venmo, if you credit card, whatever the case
Hmm.
may be. And this is important because when we think about fundraising, right, one of the cardinal rules is to offer a variety of methods of payment, right? We know that
Hmm.
people are becoming increasingly, diverse in terms of how they want to do their philanthropy or make a charitable give. And in making it convenient, because I'm going to tell you something, I'm the queen of if it's not given super, super easy, I'll
Hmm.
have to come back to it, right?
And you're not the only
I'm
one.
more
Everyone is
likely,
busy. Hmm.
listen, I'm more likely to convert when it's super, super easy, when I don't have to get up and get that credit card out of my
Right.
wallet, when I'm looking online and buying stuff that I probably ain't got no business. That Balmain belt that I just bought. The only reason Balmain got my money is because quite a sexy number and I needed it in my repertoire. But because they offered Apple Pay, because if I'd had to get up and get my wallet, it wasn't
Mm.
happening.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
wasn't
Mhm.
happening.
And I
you
think
know,
something that's really important for anybody listening to this podcast is that it's about the ease, right? Like you can make a
ease
donation
of
on GiveButter
use.
in 1 to 2 clicks maximum, right? But I got so many people who asking for what's your address? Where did you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? What did you do last summer? Can I have your yearbook? Like you asking for too many things.
No.
Like we needed to be straightforward. We ask for your first name, last name, and your email, and that's it.
Hello. Ease of use.
Mm-hmm.
Ease of use. What
Mm-hmm.
else I'm hearing is that because we're not going to talk about or name any
Mm-hmm.
of those competitor platforms that shall
Mm-hmm.
not be named because they're not underwriting this production and enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
However, we know that there's a platform that a lot of people default to, wink, wink, not going to
Mm-hmm.
name them. For someone who defaults to that go-to platform for a lot of people, sounds like Give Butter could be, a worthy alternative.
Well, I mean, yes, and we also work with that wink wink platform. I know you're talking about,
Okay.
but you can use everything on our platform. That's another thing that
Okay.
we are pro. We want to empower you. So when we keep talking about we're
Okay.
empowering the next billion change makers, we're not going to say, oh, we're just going to empower you the way that we see fit. No, it's if you are happy with that platform, great, you can utilize it here. If you want monthly donations, great, you can do like whatever you want. We are a platform so that way you can continue to accelerate. I always say if you are in business or if you're creating a community or if you're running anything, if you're running an organization, your job is to be a bridge, right? You have to create space for transformation to take place, right? And so what we do is we create that space, we have that platform, but we give you all the tools so that you can be the most transformed version of yourself.
I love this. I love this. No, I love this. So ease of use, inclusion. What I'm
Mm.
hearing is inclusion, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
From the different methods of payments and that ease of use, but also I'm hearing that you all facilitate, the way that this operates. Um, folks can incorporate some different strategies or platforms, which is interesting to me. Very interesting
Mm-hmm.
to learn. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so this is
Mm-hmm.
cool. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the CRM function, talk a little bit more about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, so many small to mid-sized nonprofits are just using spreadsheets to track their donor information, if at all, right? And so we wanted an easy way that you can be able to import your information into a CRM, again, that's completely free. We want it to be up to parity as all the other CRMs that you're utilizing. And you can store the data. We let you track everything from the household name. You can see what company they're working for. You can see, we integrate with a platform called Donor Search where you can actually see their wealth and whatnot. You can and also you can send customized emails based on that information. So I always talk about segmentation being the key to success. But if you want to see who are your mid-sized donors, who are your small donors, you can filter that on our platform in the CRM, and you can send tailored messaging based off of that information. So it's really, really important. And again, it's all completely free.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, because I'm learning too, along with the good people listening. Okay, so not just a fundraising platform, but there's capability to manage, our constituent records. I'm hearing that
Hmm.
there's the capability to send messages. Would these be like, email appeals if somebody's
Hmm.
interested? It's almost
And the
that time
best
of
thing
year,
is,
end of year
exactly.
strategies, right?
And the best thing is you can actually track your revenue from those emails too. So say you send an email to a group of people and it's a fundraising appeal. You can actually see which emails raise the most money. You can see this email raised me $100, and then you can even dig in even more and see Joe Smith donated 10 of those dollars. Jane Doe donated 50 of those dollars. So we get really granular as well because we want to give you all the tools that you need. Remember, be a space for transformation to take place. That's all we're doing. We're giving you every single tool at
Hey.
your disposal so you can grow.
Okay, so what I'm really thrilled to hear about with this is the kinds of data
Mm-hmm.
that organizations using this can have at their fingertips. Because Floyd, you know, I work with a lot of, I call them growing
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit
Mm-hmm.
organizations. These are community-based nonprofits that are doing incredible work. They're led by and serving people in communities of color, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
These are Black and brown leaders and founders that are feeding hungry kids, right? That
Mm-hmm.
are housing the unsheltered.
Mm.
A lot of times, what I'm learning about there, and I consider them to be my co-conspirators, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
clients or customers, but co-conspirators for justice. A lot of time, what happens is they're so entrenched in the work
Mm-hmm.
that they're doing that the fundraising capacity is kind of an afterthought. You know, they leap in
100%.
head first, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for an organization that might not have been so deliberate about, you know, that's learning about segmentation, or that's learning the cadence in which they should be communicating with their constituents, their donor prospects, and that's learning or getting their house in order to determine, okay, do we want to do email appeals? Do we want to do you know, direct mail versus email? You know, talk to us or talk to them in terms of, you know, how Give Butter is streamlining their the resource offerings to, you know, support their fundraising strategies.
Right. Well, one thing I want to touch on what you were just saying in terms of like the word deliberate. I don't even think for a lot of organizations, and you would know this because you're in it, many of them just don't even have the capacity to even think strategically because they're always trying to make sure that the programs are happening. They are in the community,
Yeah.
they're on the front lines. And I know that because I've been that, right? Like I've been in the organization and I'm like, taking a step back to strategize was a privilege if I had that opportunity because I'm always like making sure, is the program happening? You know what I'm saying? And so one thing that I realized is that a lot of times organizations that you can only do that when you have that capacity. But look at the stats, right? Black led organizations are incredibly under resourced. The net assets and the net revenue of of black led organizations is oftentimes 76% less than a white led organization, right?
It's
And
real.
there a lot of the funding is tied to a grant or tied to a program or tied to something else. They don't have the net the unrestricted funds to be able to sit back and actually hire a consultant or hire someone to come in and sit down and be a thought partner and whatnot. And so all those different things, we weave that into our product because as a director of community, I'm always focused on what is community-led growth. What do our people actually need? What are they saying to us right now? Right. And so that actually led us to a lot of our how we design our product, but also it led us to a lot of our programs that we're running. So one of our programs that we're running is indeed for Black Philanthropy Month in August, right? In August, we're running
Yes.
a campaign where we're donating $10,000 to Black-led nonprofits um, doing the work, right? All you have to do is have a campaign going and taking place on GiveButter, and then we will give you either $5,000 or $1,000. And we want to work with you, we want to partner with you. But also, the thing that I love is that it's not just about raising; we're also giving the education and resources. We just launched a new toolkit that we created called 1K Raise 1K in 30 days. The 1K in 30 days challenge. So we're actually sitting with you. Day one, do this. Day two, do this. Do day three, do. We're
Mm.
walking you through it step by step by step by step because we understand that your mind is thinking about so many other things. So how do we take that burden off so you can put your fundraising and we can fuel your fundraising? You know what I'm saying? So you can actually get started and going without that stress also. And then the last thing that I'll say is that a lot of times we just talk about what's in the bank, right? We just talk about the end result. We don't talk about the mindset that people have to go through to even be able to fundraise, right? So many different times we tell ourselves, oh, I'm going to be a burden. I don't want to stress somebody else out. I have to do X, Y, Z. And we put so many things on our own shoulders. A lot of times people in our community who look like us, we think that we have to shoulder the entire world because we've been told that we have to shoulder the entire world. But I want you to know you don't have to. And not only do you not have to,
Hello.
but it's unsustainable for you to do so, right? And so that's why we're coming alongside you, partnering with you. We want to put money in your account. We want to put resources in your tool chest, and we want to join your team. And that's what we're doing at GiveButter.
I love this. And one thing that I can say about Give Butter that I've learned and my conversations and encounters with you about Give Butter is the fact that Give Butter, I believe, really is doing its part to give back, right? In
Mm-hmm.
ways that I don't necessarily see some other platforms doing,
Mm.
which I appreciate.
Mm.
A tech platform that's not just facilitating giving, but putting its money where its mouth is. I see
Come on,
Give
child.
Butter
Listen.
I'm serious. I see Give Butter at some of the various conferences and events, whether I'm speaking or whether I'm there soaking up knowledge and learning amongst co-conspirators. I see Give Butter do its part to invest in communities, right? And
Mm.
that's a value to me. And that's something that the organizations that I work with, are paying attention to.
Mm.
Is not only who they're doing business with, right, but how are those entities really walking out their values with regard to the work. So that's something that I want to lift up. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for the work you're doing in commemoration of Black Philanthropy Month.
Yeah, I love it. And one thing that just struck the chord that I wanted to share with is like a lot of times, because I know this now that I get to wear this hat and whatnot, but
Mhm.
a lot of times people have to understand that giving back is not just about marketing, right? Like it can't just be another PR stunt, right? When I propose that we do Black Philanthropy Month, a lot of times I put the own pressure on my own stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like, is it going to do well in XYZ thing? But you have to understand that sometimes if you're expecting a return on your investment tomorrow, and this is for anybody who's in marketing, anybody who receives a sponsorship budget, and
Hello.
anybody, also anybody who wants to receive sponsorship dollars, right? A lot of times people are thinking about their own goals. But my thing that I want people to understand and take a step back is if your only goal is to cross the finish line that's right in front of you right now, and you're not looking for the long-term game, if you're not making a long-term investment and saying, okay, hey, we're going to invest now, but we're going to put the resources in place so you can succeed for the long haul. I always say people
Mhm.
can't be your piggy banks. People have to be your partners. And the only reason why
Hello.
a company will succeed and be sustainable is if you're looking at people as partners and not just as piggy banks. If they're only a cash cow today and they're gone tomorrow, then of course you're not going to invest. How many times, look at the industry at large, the black community has over $300 billion worth of purchasing power. I was reading a report. $300 billion. Okay. But if you're like, oh, well, this person ain't going, if it's not going to turn the thing right now, they ain't going to buy the thing
It's
right
not
now,
going
it's
to
not worth
convert
it, then
today.
you're then
Right.
you're missing out. Then you're missing out. And guess what? For centuries, people have been overlooking our communities because they don't think it's going to be a
Hello.
benefit. But you know what? I'm not the benefit that you're looking for anyway. Then, if you're only looking for a quick buck,
Yes.
don't do it. I don't want you to just
Right.
come for my cash. I want you to come because you want to build community, right?
That's
I don't
right.
want you to just come for a quick thing. We need to. I want you to actually care about my soul, right? That's how we're
You
gonna
better
build for
you
the
better
long
quit
term.
because I got listen.
Listen, I, I
You
am
can't just
dead.
come
Now
from
you
my.
have
You
that
gotta
by
come
your
from my.
chest. I'm dead. I'm
You gotta
dead.
come from my soul.
Mm,
Hello.
mm, mm.
That was a
And that,
bar and a word.
hmm well,
That
I
was
mean,
a
I
bar
feel
and a
that.
word.
Listen, I feel it. And that's why one thing I also want to encourage everyone to check out, we launched a campaign. One thing that I'm so blessed to say that I helped curate and create was something called the Back Black campaign. Back
Okay, let's
Black
talk
campaign.
about that
And the
black.
main focus of Back Black is doing exactly what we're talking about. I'm talking to all these companies. This is going to be announced. Actually, by the time y'all listen to this, you're going to hear it live. But we have companies like Global Giving. They're actually standing up. They're contributing $50,000 this Black Philanthropy Month. I'm talking to Give 828 Day and Mighty Cause. They're giving funding. I'm
Yes.
talking to Grapevine and they're giving funding. It's not just a one size fits all. I'm talking to all these amazing corporate partners across the space. We have almost 20 partners confirmed right now, and they're all getting involved and they're all putting their money where their mouth is because they are understanding that when you back Black, you
Yes.
are backing community at large. When you back Black, you're actually moving the entire country forward. So
Yes. Yes.
I'm
I love it.
excited. It's gonna be so
I am
exciting.
too.
I love it.
Yes.
And I want anybody who's listening to this, yes, go to Give Butter, get involved and get invested. But one thing that I realized is that if the best way for me to do my best work for Give Butter is if I'm doing my best work for the industry. And if I'm doing my best work for the industry, then I'm bringing everybody along, because guess what? When I rise, you rise. When Give Butter rises, we all can rise, right? And I always talk about, it's not just about being a competitor, right? Like, how are we building something where we can all grow and flourish? Because guess what? The nonprofit who comes to me, they might not be your flavor, and the nonprofit who works with you, they might not be my flavor, and that's fine. But if we create an ecosystem where it all can taste good, come on, somebody, and we're gonna start with Black philanthropy.
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
I'm dead.
Come on, somebody. Testify.
Come
Talk
on.
about it. Like,
Come
make it
on.
plain. Make it plain. Make it plain.
Exactly.
You know I grew up in Southern Baptist Church.
Come on.
Yes. I mean, what I'm encouraged by, again, is the fact that I know the organizations that I work with, right, that I take pride in working with. I know what their profiles resemble. And I like the fact that Give Butter it just sounds like Give Butter has it all, right? To help an organization that's really on the ground, moving resources, helping people, right? Making a difference, to do what needs to be done in the way of, like the fundraising, the development ops behind the scene, to help kind of build that capacity out. That is an invaluable service, right? I mean, when I think about who I'm working with, how they look, right? Where they're going, and the rate at which they're growing. I'm looking for resources like this. So it's been my pleasure spending some time with you to learn more about the platform and to learn what we're doing to celebrate Black Philanthropy Month.
I want somebody.
Right? Yes, I love this. I love this. So I appreciate that. So we've arrived at one of my favorite portions of the show, which we call For the Culture, where we get into all things Black. We talk about Black food, Black cooking, Black church, Black buying power. But one of the things that we talk about that we know I love is rap music and hip hop.
Come on, 50 years.
I am an avowed lover of rap music, okay, and hip hop, and I have been a lover of it since, I was a little girl with pigtails. Why? Because it was through this art form that received a tremendous amount of criticism. It's been, a great deal of anti-Blackness has been perpetrated on rap music, censorship. And I'm not going to sit here, Floyd, and say that it's all good, but it damn sure ain't all bad neither. And it was through those cassette tapes, because back in the day we had cassettes. It was through those cassette tapes that I would put a cassette in, and I learned that the things that I was seeing in East Oakland, when the crack epidemic was going strong at its height, the things that I was seeing as a little girl in Oakland, there were little girls in the Bronx and in Brooklyn seeing those things. In Harlem, there were people in LA. So what I learned from rap music is that I wasn't alone living in poverty, that some of the stuff that was happening in Oakland was happening in all the urban centers at the same time. And it helped me to understand in a way that adolescent or teen understands that poverty wasn't limited to my zip code. I got to see what other people were experiencing living in this construct. So with that being said, do you have any reaction to that first and foremost before I get into the question?
No, I completely agree. I think that's the power of music, particularly with hip hop, but the power of music to bring people together. Like I said, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and I love the fact that, I did a lot of work in South Africa. It don't matter that I can't speak the language. When I come in and start singing, we all family. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I love. I love that. And but particularly with hip hop, speaking from voices that were typically not heard in modern media. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
Yes. So, in fact, I was just over the weekend hanging out in Manhattan and went
Mm-hmm.
to DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic live, which was crazy. Okay.
Amazing.
I mean, it was crazy. All of the golden era 90s artists that I grew up, loving from, like, I mean, Rakim, for instance,
Wow.
Dana Dane, Big Daddy Kane, Kumo D, Wild Wild West.
Wow.
Wild Wild West. Yes. I mean, I was in heaven. Special ed, I got it made. It was just so nice and smooth. I got a funky rhyme with a funky style. I got a funky rhyme with a funky style. I listen. And some stuff you just gotta experience in
Mm-hmm.
New York because we know that that's where hip hop was birthed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was
Mm-hmm.
dope. So my question to you is, when you think about everything that's going on, right, in the world. I mean, you take your pick. We know that there's all kinds of stuff happening, some stuff that's not cool. When SCOTUS gives us a blow,
Mm-hmm.
the presidential election, campaign season is underway, getting in full swing. When you think about your favorite rap artist or hip hop song, like, what's your go-to? What are you enjoying these days?
I always mess up his last name, but have you heard he's like a newer artist, Toby Nwangwe? He's a
Yeah, and
Nigerian
we gay
artist.
or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Toby. Yes,
I just love his music so much. It's like
I
it's
love
he
Toby.
inspiring. It pushes culture forward. I love how he lives his life and embodies everything that he talks about and does. So he's definitely one of my go-to artists for sure, for sure. I also love
He
I also love that he focuses on his family too. Like he brings his
I do
family into the
too.
things that he does, and I'm like, our people are so, everyone talks about the broken family, the broken home, there's so many stereotypes on the black family, but I love that he's like almost restoring this image in what he's doing. It's just everything. It's everything.
I love him. He's got this song called I'm Dope. In fact, when we
Mm,
get out of the Black Fundraisers podcast studio, I'm going to listen to that because it really does remind me of how dope I am. On days when
100%.
I'm feeling a little like, ooh, I'm underwater. No,
Mm-hmm.
you don't. Toby
You're
said it.
dope. Yeah,
And he said
exactly.
Miss Badu said it. He said Miss Badu told him he was dope,
Mm-hmm.
in the song. So yes, I like it, and I love how he reps his wife. I love how
Mm-hmm.
he reps his family. I
Mm-hmm.
love that he is himself.
Yes.
We might have a gold grill one day.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
might, I just love his edge and creativity. Is he from New Orleans? I can't remember where he's from. Is he
He's from
from nowhere?
Houston. He's from Houston.
Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Houston. I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was
Mm-hmm.
either Louisiana or Texas. But yeah, he's rapping. I love it. I love his unique yet he's got this great edge. So yeah, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
with you on Toby.
I
Toby is
love it.
cool.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
Well, any parting words for the good people out there as we prepare to close out?
Well, no, just being that we are being in Black Philanthropy Month, check out the backblackcampaign.org. You'll see all of these campaigns, Give Butter, and so many more as well. And then stay connected with me. You can find me online at the Floyd Jones on all platforms, and I'd love to stay connected.
The Floyd Jones. I know
The
that's right.
Floyd,
You got to
come
put
on,
that
somebody.
the.
One
Listen,
and
you got to
only.
put
Great.
the in front of it so people know that it's official.
Come on.
So people know that it's official. There might be imitators. Look, often
Right.
imitated, but never duplicated.
What they say, you can steal the recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same. Come on,
Hello,
somebody.
hello.
Yeah.
Too much sauce. Listen, too much sauce. Like the
I'm
song
so
say, too
grateful for
much
you, Kia.
sauce.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, of course. It's been a long time coming. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you're gonna share the toolkit for the good folks
Yes.
out there so that we can help spread that
Hundred
resource.
percent, 100%. I'll share it
Okay.
with you, and we can keep it. You can link it in the bio and everything, and people can check it out. 100%.
Yes, 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 yes. We be giving resources, y'all. Y'all
Listen,
gotta
I'm for the
run that
people. Okay,
more.
listen.
We be
Rises
giving
do climb.
resources. That's right. Well, thank you for joining me, the
Thank you,
Floyd
Kia.
Jones. And I hope you enjoyed this segment. You can look forward to more segments like this all month long. Why? Because it's Black Philanthropy Month. It's Black Business Month.
Come
Okay,
on.
August is Black Business Month. And it's the Black Fundraisers Podcast. What more can I say? So until next time, stay tuned, stay down, and keep your head up.